You know, a report just came out that $26 billion was spent over the last 4 years or so for green energy. And if you look at the yield of jobs, it comes to $11.45 million per green job created. To me, that's not a very good investment. On the other hand, since 1945, our strategy of peace through strength with nuclear deterrence, nuclear assurance, to me has been the best investment that we've ever had. We've prevented another nuclear war, another world war, if you will. And talk that we're beginning to hear that we may unilaterally go down to zero nuclear capability or take a triad down to 2 legs or 1 leg of the stool, I think makes us a little worried. And I've spoken to experts in SCIFs offline about this, and they agree that anything that we do to take this from a 3-leg stool to a 2 or 1 really solves the calculations and the strategy of our potential foes, and that it would be a very bad idea to do that. So not only should we have a nuclear triad, but we should make sure that all 3 legs are strong. So I'd like to hear from both of you where you stand on the nuclear triad, its importance. We look at some investments in the future, the long-range strike bomber, which at its earliest won't roll off the assembly line for another 12 to 15 years. What is your belief and what is your feeling based on your discussions, your research?
Yeah. Well, let me take this from a policy perspective, and then General Kehler.
Could you get a little closer to the mic?
Sorry, from a policy perspective, and then General Kehler can look at it from an operational implementation. So from a policy perspective, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, a triad is what we absolutely need. It's what the Nuclear Posture Review says, and it's what is fully funded in the President's budget request for fiscal year 14, is there are modernization and programs in place for every one of the delivery platforms that we have right now. The one exception is the Minuteman III, and under which the Air Force is still looking at an analysis of alternatives, because that's the one that we have a little bit of luxury of time to when we actually have to have a new system in place. But from a policy perspective, that is the policy, that's the strategy, is to maintain a triad, and we've not changed that.
Okay, thank you.
And from a military standpoint, Congressman, I continue to support a triad. It does, in fact, provide the best blend of survivability and flexibility and responsiveness. Those are military attributes that are not only beneficial to us, but typically very difficult for an adversary to overcome. I would add that we don't talk about this as much, but it's equally important, and that is the command and control system that links the President to it. There are some deficiencies there as well that we are also addressing in the budget, and I would be quick to point out that the final piece of this is the work that the Department of Energy and NNSA do for us in the stockpile, which is equally critical. And so all of these pieces together, I think, have come to a place where they require investment at a very difficult time for investment. And the program that we've put together, many of us at the table have worked pretty hard over the last year to try to come up with an implementation plan that goes with a strategy for a way forward. And I think that we're laying it here. The question will be, as we go forward, what will the outcome be? And I think that that's a significant question for all of us. But I continue to support the triad as a matter of best military advice.
Well, I thank you as I yield back, and just to add on to that is simply that in a world in which more nations, not fewer, are putting together their nuclear weapons infrastructure, and potential foes are modernizing theirs, this is not a time to diminish ours. I think you can yield back, Mr. Chairman.
I thank you, General.